What happens when winning the biggest talent show in America turns out to be a carefully disguised corporate trap? Tonight, we dismantle the glittering illusion of primetime television to uncover a reality the network executives desperately tried to bury. When Hannah Harper claimed her victory on the grand stage of American Idol, it felt like a definitive cultural moment. Millions of viewers tuned in to watch the ultimate manifestation of the American dream, believing that a new pop icon had officially been coronated. The atmosphere was electric, the ratings were soaring, and the future seemed perfectly written. But behind the curtain, away from the blinding spotlights and the heavy fall of celebratory confetti, a far more complicated story was already unfolding. What happens when the cameras finally stop rolling, the stage lights dim, and a young artist is forced to face the brutal reality of the corporate music machine? For Hannah Harper, the real battle didn't begin during the competition. It started the exact moment she signed her name on the dotted line, setting off a chain of events that absolutely no one in the industry anticipated. To understand the gravity of her sudden disappearance, we must first analyze the sheer velocity of her initial rise to fame. From her very first broadcast audition, industry analysts noted that Hannah possessed a rare, unmanufactured quality that completely shifted the dynamics of the entire season.
She wasn't just a contestant surviving week by week. She was a cultural phenomenon, generating millions of digital impressions with every single performance. Media outlets across the country were quickly treating her victory as an absolute certainty, praising her vocal control and her seemingly effortless ability to connect with a massive, diverse demographic. For the network, she was the ultimate dream asset, marketable, universally loved, and immensely profitable before she even held the official trophy. Behind closed doors, corporate sponsors and major label executives were already drafting extensive merchandising campaigns, global tour itineraries, and multi-album deals designed to extract maximum financial value from her overnight stardom. The public saw a raw talent fulfilling her ultimate destiny, but the industry saw a highly lucrative product ready for immediate mass production. Yet, as the final episode concluded and the public celebration began to fade, the trajectory of this supposed pop prodigy took a sharp, unexpected detour into absolute silence. Analysts expected an immediate blitz of promotional singles and high-profile television appearances to capitalize on her massive momentum, but instead, the machinery grinding behind her career came to a sudden, grinding halt. The celebratory noise was instantly replaced by a strange, unsettling quiet that left millions of fans scratching their heads. Our investigation into her post-victory timeline reveals a complex web of legal restrictions that effectively stripped the young artist of her voice. Highly placed industry insiders close to the production have quietly come forward to detail the intense, restrictive nature of the paperwork handed to talent immediately following the finale. Winning a major network competition typically binds an artist to a notoriously rigid system, and in Hannah's case, allegations surfaced that her management team exercised total, absolute control over her personal and professional autonomy. Her daily schedule was managed down to the exact minute. Her public statements were heavily vetted by corporate publicists, and her signature musical style was systematically dismantled to fit a pre-approved, highly sanitized pop formula. She transitioned from a passionate, independent creator into a heavily restricted corporate entity practically overnight, isolated from her original support system and pushed to the brink of physical exhaustion. Sources indicate that the mental toll of this sudden captivity was immense, as she was forced to project a picture-perfect image of happiness to the press while navigating a claustrophobic legal environment behind closed doors. Rumors began to circulate within the music community that she was actively fighting back against these strict parameters, refusing to comply with demands that compromised her artistic integrity. The dynamic between the artist and her handlers rapidly deteriorated from a professional partnership into a hostile standoff, setting the stage for a creative gridlock that would shock the entire entertainment industry. The conflict between artistic freedom and corporate greed reached a boiling point when her highly anticipated debut project was abruptly locked away in a studio vault. For months, dedicated fans anxiously awaited the release of her first official body of work, expecting a definitive musical statement that would dominate the global charts. Instead, they were met with endless delays, vague press releases, and total radio silence from her record label. Our sources reveal that Hannah had actually written and recorded an entire album's worth of deeply personal, genre-bending material during her initial weeks in the studio. However, executive producers reportedly rejected the project entirely, claiming it lacked the commercial viability and the radio-friendly polish required for a mainstream release. They demanded she scrap her original music and record prefabricated tracks written by a team of industry hitmakers, a move that Hannah reportedly viewed as a complete betrayal of her identity. This creative impasse resulted in a brutal internal war, with the label effectively shelving her music as a disciplinary measure to force her compliance. The songs she poured her heart into were legally locked away, hidden from the public ear, while she was forced into a state of professional purgatory. It became glaringly obvious that the label would rather let a champion's career completely stagnate than allow an artist to dictate her own creative direction, demonstrating the ruthless power dynamic that governs the modern music business. Just as speculation surrounding her shelved album reached a fever pitch, Hannah Harper completely vanished from the face of the earth. In a sudden and calculated move that stunned the digital world, every single one of her official social media accounts was completely wiped clean overnight. Her verified profiles were deactivated, past promotional materials were erased, and she completely dropped out of the public eye without a single word of explanation. The internet instantly went into a state of hyper-speculation, with wild theories dominating online forums and pop culture blogs. Some commentators feared that the immense, unrelenting pressure of her sudden fame had led to a severe personal crisis, forcing her to seek immediate isolation. Others speculated that she was navigating a massive high-stakes legal battle away from the prying eyes of the media, fighting a desperate war to break her contract. The bright, charismatic performer who had captivated tens of millions of viewers just months prior had effectively been erased from the entertainment landscape.
For nearly a year, mainstream journalists could find no record of her whereabouts, no upcoming performance dates, and no signs of life from her official representation. It was a total, unprecedented blackout that left the industry wondering if Hannah Harper was simply become another tragic cautionary tale of a reality TV star swallowed whole by the Hollywood machine. When the silence was finally broken, it wasn't through a traditional, glitzy Hollywood press release, but through a radical act of pure digital defiance. Shunning the mainstream media entirely, Hannah suddenly reappeared on an independent, decentralized streaming platform, completely bypassing the traditional gatekeepers who had tried to control her. She didn't just alter her style, she completely shattered the pristine image that had been manufactured for her on television. Sporting a raw, unpolished look and delivering an uncompromising sound, she dropped a series of underground tracks that exposed a dark, gritty side of her artistry. The music was completely stripped of corporate pop production, featuring intense lyrics that subtly alluded to her feelings of captivity and betrayal. This unsanctioned release was a direct, calculated violation of her major label contract, a deliberate move that sent shockwaves through the executive offices in Los Angeles and New York. By distributing her music directly to her core fan base without executive oversight, she effectively proved that the traditional industry model was losing its grip on modern talent. It was an incredibly risky gamble that carried massive financial and legal risks, but it instantly reignited her fan base and established her as a genuine counterculture figure who refused to be bought or broken. The battle has now spilled out of the recording studio and straight into the legal arena, with recent developments pointed toward an explosive climax. Legal correspondents covering the entertainment sector have recently noted a series of anonymous filings and heavily redacted court documents that point directly to an escalating war between Hannah and her former corporate backers. Whispers are growing louder within the industry that she has successfully navigated around her strict non-disclosure agreements, finding a loophole that could allow her to speak out publicly. Insiders claim she is currently collaborating with investigative journalists to draft a massive, comprehensive exposé that promises to reveal the exploitative nature of reality television talent contracts. There are even rumors of a tell-all documentary project being quietly developed behind the scenes, aimed at pulling back the curtain on how major networks allegedly exploit young, vulnerable artists for temporary ratings before abandoning them to predatory contracts. The label is reportedly scrambling to contain the potential public relations disaster, attempting to enforce strict gag orders to prevent her from speaking. But the momentum has clearly shifted, and Hannah is no longer a powerless contestant. She is a formidable force leading a high-stakes crusade for true artistic liberation. The extraordinary case of Hannah Harper serves as a stark, uncompromising reminder that the glittering prizes promised by modern reality television often come with a hidden, devastating price tag. Her journey from a heavily controlled network champion to an independent, rebellious icon has completely redefined what it means to truly succeed in the modern entertainment landscape. She chose to sacrifice immediate, corporate-backed wealth and superficial fame to protect the sanctity of her own voice, exposing the dark underbelly of a ruthless industry along the way. It forces us to take a long, hard look at the reality programs we consume every single week and to wonder how many of our favorite overnight stars are currently trapped in the exact same corporate cage she fought so desperately to escape. As the legal battles continue to unfold behind closed doors, one thing remains absolutely certain. The story of Hannah Harper is far from over, and the industry may never be the same again. What do you think is the real truth behind her sudden disappearance and dramatic return? Let us know your theories in the comments below.